Meg's mother died in the aftermath of the Great War, which gave her the determination to keep surviving in a depressing world. Meg was never a proud American, feeling the country was not worth fighting for, and she was happy when the establishment was destroyed by the war. At some point before the scorched plague entered the Savage Divide, Meg became concerned about the chaos surrounding contact with the other raider gangs being lost. She wondered what happened to Margie McClintock and feared the diehards would be next. She sent a message to Vincent Freed, asking him if he wished to leave Appalachia with her group. Meg's group then splintered off from the diehards and left Appalachia entirely with several other diehards. During this time, they ventured from Appalachia to the Commonwealth to Washington, D.C., raiding and gathering new members along the way. Meg met Johnny Weston, a man who had infiltrated her gang by blending in with the other raiders. When Meg found out that he had simply slipped into the gang, she reacted positively, and the two shared drinks. They eventually shacked up and continue a physical relationship with each other. In 2103, Meg returned to Appalachia with her raider group, having grown exponentially in the previous years, to take ownership of the crashed Valiant 1 space station, dubbing it the Crater. It was also upon learning of the residents of Vault 76 having been colonizing the region in the past year that Meg decided it was time to let the Vault dwellers know that Appalachia belonged to the Raiders and they were taking it back. After the Brotherhood of Steel returns to Appalachia by way of the Brotherhood 1st Expeditionary Force, Meg assigns Burke, Pierce, and Sheena to fight and/or sabotage the returning Brotherhood as part of the war party. As Meg and the other raiders have previous experience dealing with the Brotherhood before they left Appalachia, she believes that they are dangerous, and the only interaction she desires to have with them is putting bullets in them. Meg views the raider lifestyle as necessary in order to get by in their world, feeling it justifies a lot of their actions and that they are still on the right path. While she was a member of the diehards, Meg believed that Margie McClintock's ideal of the pacifist raider life was unrealistic and often disobeyed the diehards' standing order to not fire unless fired upon. Even though Rose and Meg have a mutual dislike for each other, with Meg calling Rose a bitch, Rose supports Meg's raider lifestyle, asking, "You don't think Meg and her crew are alive today because they were fair, do you? You gotta live a little. Be daring. Screw someone over and never look back." Despite this, she is shown to be merciful at times, such as sparing Barb's life if she is revealed as the mole. Meg is shown to have a non-confrontational side, as she chooses not to directly confront Barb, instead dropping hints so Barb can correct her course, showing that Meg still retains faith in others. A similar instance occurs when Meg hears Foundation are considering breaking into the vault. Meg gives a veiled threat to the vault dweller, warning, "All I'm saying is, be a real shame if someone I know were thinking the grass was greener over there. They might want to think a little harder." As a leader, she hates discrimination and sees value in diversity. She values people like the super mutant Gale and the ghoul Lucky Lou, the former for her strength and devotion for protecting Ra-Ra, and the latter for his skills in explosives. She once said, "Recruitment is better. Kill only for food and supplies." Nash claims Meg tried to be part of the brutal cutthroats, but did not prove herself to them, resulting in her starting her own gang. Another instance of Meg's empathy is upon finding out Ra-Ra stole her snack cakes. Meg took pity and allowed her to eat the rest. Meg's leadership is controversial and viewed as poor among some raiders for various reasons, particularly to Lev, Serge, Caleb Fisher, and Hal Gleason. A common complaint is that they feel Meg does not go far enough as a raider. For example, Lev viewed her as weak, mentioning she would never strike Foundation. Johnny's terminal claims Meg was planning a lot of raids on them, although it is not clarified if these plans were delayed or dropped. Lev's opinion of Meg resulted in the formation of Lev's crew. Hal left Meg because he felt he and Johnny would be better off on their own. While Rose views Meg as a step above Margie, Meg highly values her connections to the loyal members of her group. She can be quite trusting and unaware of the dangers of certain people, which is shown to have consequences. For example, Ra-Ra played outside Crater with only Gale to watch over her, which nearly killed Ra-Ra due to the lack of better supervision. Meg likes Barb, despite that Barb is a mole cooperating with Lev. Meg is unaware of Lev's plotting and his attempt at killing Lou. During the Vault raid, Meg's trust of Johnny results in her bringing him along for the raid. Johnny attempts to secretly murder the vault dweller when Meg is not present.